What's up, my fellow Michiganians, Michiganders, whatever you happen to call yourselves? Ooh, first victory of the season. Definitely a big deal. Big step in the right direction today. A lot of positives. Definitely some negatives in the second half, but I'll take the win. Hey, I'll take an ugly win over a pretty loss any day, even with an ugly second half. But here's my main takeaways from the game. Number one, we'll start with a negative, because, you get rid of the bad news first. This defense just doesn't have the depth. That's my main takeaway is Hutchinson, you notice something, he looked great in the first half, had 3 sacks, was all over the place like an animal. Rodrigo was flying to the ball. Then the second half, our secondary started getting beat. We weren't getting the pressure. And I can tell you exactly what I think it is. It's being gassed. This is something that Brad Holmes is going to have to address, and I think this is where he's made a mistake. I think he's done a very fine job as a GM. And especially as a new GM, he never did this before. I think he definitely has an eye for talent, and he's done a very fine job. But this is his one mistake. Investing early draft capital in guys with injury history. I'm talking about Levi Onwuzurike and Josh Paschal. I think both those guys are good players. But man, we could use them on the defensive line right now. And the fact is, when they're injury prone, this team already doesn't have great depth, and we don't have those two. The fact is, we're putting the same bodies out there all game. Ali McNeil is very good. I thought he was great today. And even Bugs. Bugs was stuffing the run today. Kaminsky was looking good at the tackle spot. He got a sack at the end of the game. That was nice. I mean, our starting defense overall is not absolutely horrible. But 1 or 2 injuries, and it goes completely downhill. And, we can't rotate bodies, and the next thing you know, the Commanders are gashing us deep. Carson Wentz was not escaping the pocket. He was able to escape it a little bit easier. Hutchinson's limping. Okuda's getting cramps. We just need more depth, and we're going to have to make sure, if you're Brad Holmes, you're going to have to make sure that in the draft that you get guys that can be reliable, meaning they don't have a bad injury history. They have a track record of staying healthy. That's just going to be a big thing. I understand you can't predict all injuries. I don't have a crystal ball, but with Levi and Paschal, both of those guys have had issues in the past. And, getting back, I think they both are having back problems, which is a horrible thing to have early on in your career. So if we can really fix that, this team can be a playoff contender as early as next season. But for this season, this is just going to be how it is. It's going to be frustrating. The guys are playing hard. They're going to keep playing hard. And, Hutch is going to keep playing hard. And he really showed why he was the second overall pick today. But that's just the big thing. Got to get more depth. Got to get these guys a breather. Otherwise, you get what you get in the second half, giving up 28 points to, no disrespect to the Commanders, but not a great offense. If we gave up 14, I'd be like, okay. I mean, that's not great for a half, but 28, you can't give up 28 points in a half. Second thing, and before I get to my second point, let me mention one of my good friends, Redskins Man 10. He has his own YouTube channel. I've been good friends with him for a long time, and if any of you guys are fans of the Washington Commanders, he has a good channel, and just about Washington sports overall. And what he's saying is going for 2 in that situation made no sense. I completely agree. I know the analytics oftentimes say, go for 2, because then when you score again, you have a chance to win the game with an extra point. But sometimes this is where analytics have really ruined the common sense of the game. The fact is the Commanders were struggling to get short yardage all game. The Lions were stuffing the run, and to me, you just kick the extra point and then regroup and come up with a 2-point conversion play. Because to me, it felt like it was almost a little bit too soon. And they said that entire last drive there was zero urgency and they missed the PAT, which really screwed us. Yeah, I agree. Washington had a chance to come back in this game. And I'm not going to lie to you, Carson Wentz, as bad as he was in the first half, really stepped up in the second half. So give credit where credit's due. Ron Rivera and this team, they did not give up. I think the big thing with Washington is the depth on the defensive side of the ball. Martin Mayhew was their general manager, and us Lions fans know he's not exactly the best. So, but just off of that, go give my friend a subscription, Redskins Man 10. He's got a lot of great DC sports content. Fun channel, great guy. You'll like him. But let me get to my second point about the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff again. I got to say, I was frustrated with the missed throw in the first half, but he stepped up again. If I'm going to be super hard on him when he misses throws, I got to give him credit when he makes throws. And, we were reeling a little bit. it goes from 22 to nothing to 22 to 15, and I said, he's got to step up here. There was a beauty to Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's looking like a true WR1 for the Lions. We have a bright future at this receiver spot, but Amon-Ra St. Brown is something special. Beauty there, goes for 60 yards, and then DeAndre Swift hits him in the flat, touchdown there after he gets up. I think that was a game changer, because under the Matt Patricia era, we're not scoring on those drives. We're probably choking or trying to run the ball and not get creative. But with this offense, you have to open it up with Jared Goff and these receivers. There's just so much talent out there. And also getting DeAndre Swift in the flat as well is a great thing. I think we did a great job getting enough out of DeAndre Swift, but also not running him into the ground. So I think that's one thing we've done a great job of. I mean, that's just going to be the nature of this team. We're going to have to win games offensively. We're going to need Jared Goff to step up and make those throws, and he did that today. He did that last week. So really the past 6 quarters, Jared Goff has played good football. I'll say that. So kudos to him, and hopefully we can keep it up. And I think we've done a great job surrounding him with talent. Third point, offensive line. I was really worried today. We have our 3 starting interior linemen hurt, and those 3 guys are some of the best in the league. Jonah Jackson, who has a broken finger. I hope he gets that taken care of soon. Frank Ragnow, who's one of the best centers in the game. I have his jersey. And then Vaitai is probably going to be out for the year. So you have 3 new guys. And I understand Washington didn't have Jonathan Allen, but they still have Deron Payne. There's still plenty of talent on that defensive line. Montez Sweat likes to line up inside sometimes. And we ran all over them. We really drove them back almost every play. There was very little pressure on Goff throughout the game. I think they technically got 2 sacks. One of them came early. But overall, I think Steinberg and Neil Brown both have done a really nice job filling inside. And, I'll say this. If there's one thing I can say about Bob Quinn, it's a credit to him for building up the depth of this offensive line. And a credit for Brad Holmes for seeing that. And we really have a lot of great guys on this roster, so we should feel very good about that. It just tells you how good we can be when our guys are all healthy. Boy, this offensive line can be scary good, because they were pretty darn good today without 3 starters. And Washington, I know they didn't have Chase Young. I know they didn't have Jonathan Allen. But still, kudos to that group. Doing a great job. Overall, this team is trending in the right direction. I love what I'm seeing the first 2 games. Really, honestly, kind of what I expected. I said we'd lose the first week. I said we'd win this week. The offense did a little bit better than I expected. Defense kind of faded in the second half. But overall, we're right on schedule. Now, next week's going to be a tough game against Minnesota, and I don't see us winning that game. But really, we just have to hang in there, stay healthy, and then the back end of our schedule, we have a lot of games that are winnable. And if we win next week, I would consider it a steal. But make no mistake about it, Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes are both doing an excellent job. And we just got to keep focused throughout the entire season, like we did last year. That's one thing. I think we stayed focused throughout the entire year, whereas Patricia's teams fell apart in the second half of the year. So I think we're doing a nice job on schedule. Won a game we were supposed to win. Hutchinson looks good. And TJ Hawkinson finally is getting involved, which is good. I'm happy. I'm pretty pleased. I'm happy for this win, and that's about that. All right. You all have a good night. Go Lions, and take care.